Hello and welcome everyone. Today in the English class we'll continue with poem Wind written by Subramanya Bharati, and I told you this poem was written by Subramanya Bharati in Tamil, which was later translated into English by A.K. Ramanujan. So I had explained this poem in the last class, in the last video. And what did you understand? Wind symbolizes the challenges of life. In our life as a human being, we have to face many challenges. There are many problems. We live among adversities, isn't it? So many problems are there. But people who face the problems courageously, they are the one who come out victorious. Others break down, others fall down. So we should be that type of person or that type of people we should become, who have courage, who are ready to face the challenges of life. If we don't face the challenges of life, we will not grow. So if we want to grow, if we want to develop, if we want to succeed in life, it is very important that we get ready to face the challenges in life without fear. So wind, it symbolizes the challenges of life. Weak people, when there are winds or challenges in life, what happens to the weak people? They perish, they are destroyed, they fall, they break down. But the strong people, the strong ones, they become stronger. They develop, they grow, they overcome the challenges, and then they get success. They become victorious. And when they become victorious, then they are friends with challenges. They feel that challenges are nothing to be feared about. Alright, and what happens? They face challenges bravely and they befriend the challenges. They make challenges their friends, because these challenges have helped them to grow into a better person, to grow into a stronger person, to develop into a much better human being and a much better person. So all that has happened, all that change has come in their life because of these challenges, and that is why they no more fear challenges, and for them challenges become friends. They befriend the challenges. Alright, and that is why they are not afraid of any difficulties, any adversities. They are always ready to face everything with a smile on their face. So this is the attitude that each one of us should have. We should never be afraid of problems. Life will give us problems one after the other. But how we face these problems, that defines us. That tells whether we are a strong person or we are a weak person. Whether we are a brave person or whether we are a coward. The way we deal with the challenges of life, the problems of life, that will define us. That will tell the people about us. That will tell the world about us. So we have to become brave people. We have to become strong people, never afraid of challenges. That is what we understand from this poem, Wind. Now, I'll give you the gist of the poem, I'll give you summary, then there will be line-wise explanation. Alright, I'll give you all that, the literary devices I'll be telling you. Then some question answers are there, which I'll read out, and it will be there on the screen also. So you can write them in your copy. Especially the question answers you have to write in your copy. The literary devices, explanation and gist, that is just for your reference. So either you can copy down the literary devices in the book itself, or let it be in the video, and whenever you feel like you can watch the video and understand the literary devices and line-wise explanation also you will get there. So main thing is that you have to do the question answers in the copy. So be ready with your copy and pen. I'll just read everything and it will be there on the screen also. Okay, so you can pause, and if you want to read slowly, you can see on the screen, and if you want to write it somewhere, you can write it also. But question answers you have to do in your fair copy. The gist of the poem: wind is a natural phenomena. You know that. In this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described, and the poet says that wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of wind to the adversities of life, the challenges that we face, and says that the weak people break down, but stronger people emerge out of adversities stronger. They become stronger. The poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles, falls. We must make these destructive forces our friends with our strength and determination. This is the essence of the poem. Then the line-wise explanation is there. It is there on the screen. I will not read it. You just pause the screen and you can go through it. The line-wise explanation. Now we come to the rhyme scheme. Now this poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme here. It is called free verse. So when the rhyme scheme of this poem is asked, you have to say there is no rhyme scheme. It is written in free verse. Now come to the literary devices in the poem. You have anaphora. Anaphora is when a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. Alright, that this poetic device is called anaphora. So in lines 2, 3 and 4, all these lines begin with don't. Lines 6, 7 and 8, they begin with you. So this is anaphora, example of anaphora. So you have to write, when literary device is asked, you have to write anaphora and then you have to mention lines this starting with don't, lines this starting with you. Next literary device used here is personification. Now what is personification? When human attributes are associated with some abstract ideas, an inanimate object or a natural phenomenon. Anything is given a human character. A tree, a river is given a human character as if it is speaking or we are talking to it, or any non-living thing, anything which is given, or any idea it may be, honesty, love, any abstract idea it may be. Whenever it is given a human attribute, then we call it personification. The literary device is personification. So here wind has been personified. You know, the poet is talking to the wind. So wind is personified. He is talking to the wind as if the wind is a person. Wind has been personified. In line 8, when the poet says your, that is you are, your, he is referring to the wind as you. That means he is treating the wind as a person. Similarly, he in line 13 and 20 and his in line 21 show that the poet is treating the wind as a person. It seems that he is talking or telling us about a person. He, his, you, all these words used for persons, and that these words have been used by the poet here to talk to the wind, or when he is telling something about the wind or to the wind, and that is why we can say that wind has been presented here as a person, and that is why the poetic device is personification. Then repetition. Crumbling. You can see this word has been used many times in lines 9, 10 and 11. And again the same word has been used. It is called Again and again when the same word is used, this is done to lay emphasis, to show that this activity is happening again and again. Alright, and when word is used like this again and again, we call it repetition. The poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that is weak. That is why he repeats the word crumbling. Then you have symbolism. Symbolism means that the thing refers to some other thing. The name of the poem is Wind. But actually when we read, we understand that the poem is telling us about the challenges of life. So what is wind symbolizing? The challenges of life. Alright. So symbolism. Symbolism means that the thing refers to some other thing. Wind is a symbol. It refers to the challenges in life. He is using wind as a symbol for adversities in our life. So wind represents the adversities, the problems, the challenges of our life. Similarly, in line 19 you have weak fires. It symbolizes the people with little or no courage. Strong fires in line 20 represent people who have strong willpower and tenacity. Then there is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound in close connection, nearby, in the same line. Consonant sound you can hear. In line 12, you have wind and winnows. Both are giving the W sound. W sound is coming. Line 13, you have won't and want. Again, W sound is there. Line 20, fires and flourish. F sound is there. So all this is alliteration. So when you write about alliteration, again you have to write the words and then you have to write which sound is coming. Next we come to the summary. The first part of the poem describes the action of the wind. The poet asks the wind to come softly. He requests the wind not to break the shutters of the windows, not to scatter the papers and throw down the books from the shelf. But the wind throws the books down the shelf and tears the pages. The poet tells the wind to look at the destruction it has caused. The poet says that the wind makes a mockery of weaklings. It brings down frail houses, crumbling doors, rafters and even weak hearts. It crushes everything that is weak. The poet means that when a strong wind blows, all the things which are fragile, weak and feeble break easily. Thereafter, the poet advises us to be strong. Only then can we save ourselves from the wind. We should build strong homes with firm doors. Our bodies and hearts should be also strong. Our bodies and hearts should also be strong. It is the way of the world to kick the weak and to be friends with the strong. The wind blows out the weak fires but makes the strong fires roar and flourish. Thus the poem conveys the idea that nobody cares for the weak. Even the wind is on the side of the strong people. We must make ourselves strong to become successful and overcome the challenges of life. Now we come to the question answers. Question 1. What are the things the wind does in the first stanza? Answer. When the wind blows violently, it destroys everything. It breaks the shutters of windows, scatters the papers, throws the books down from the shelves, tears their pages, and brings along a lot of rain. Question 2. What does the poet mean when he says the wind god winnows? Answer. The wind god winnows means that nature sifts the weak things from the strong thing, separates. Everything that is weak is tossed by the powerful wind and gets destroyed. Just like the winnower separates the grains of wheat from the chaff, similarly, the wind god separates the weak from the strong. Question 3. What should we do to make friends with the wind? We must make ourselves strong to face the violent wind. When we will be strong, the wind will not harm us. Instead, it will become friends and help us to grow and flourish. Question 4. What do the last 4 lines of the poem mean to you? Answer. The last 4 lines of the poem carry an important message that the strong people emerge stronger and victorious in the face of adversities. We must make ourselves strong. A burning fire grows and flourishes in the violent wind. Likewise, we also prosper in the face of challenges. Question 5. Who are disturbed by the wind? The wind disturbs only those people who are not determined. The self-confident people overcome the obstacles put before them by the wind. The wind does not have the knack to disturb the peace of mind of such people. The wind blows out weak fires and makes strong fires roar and flourish. Question 6. What does the wind do with the books? The wind tears the pages off and throws them down the bookshelf. The potent, that is powerful wind scatters the books and sheets of paper on the floor. It disturbs everything. Why should the earthly people build strong houses? Answer. They should build strong houses so that they may not be damaged by the wind. They should be strong enough to endure violent winds and become a challenge to the powerful wind. Question 8. Does the wind god do what we tell him? Answer. The wind god is all powerful. He is not influenced by any external factors. He doesn't do what we tell him to do. Neither our requests nor our commands will influence him. He is mighty and sweeps away all weaklings with him. He loves strength and befriends with strong and steadfast hearts. Question 9. What does the wind symbolize? The wind symbolizes raw and brutal power of nature. The wind god is symbol of might and strength. He hates weaklings. He rather pokes fun at them. Whether they are frail houses, crumbling doors, or crumbling hearts and bodies, he spares none. He befriends only the strong. Question 10. What does the poet ask us to do? The poet wants us to realize the true nature of the power of wind. He advises us to build strong homes. The doors must be closed firmly. Weak hearts will never succeed. Let us make our hearts strong and steadfast. The wind god loves strength and steadfastness. Question 11. Why and how does the wind blow out weak fires? Who roars and flourish? The god of wind is against any and every shaky and weak thing. Our heart should be fired with determination and strength. Weak fires and weaklings are flown out. Only the strong roar and flourish. His friendship is good and rewarding. Let us praise the wind, the symbol of power and strength. Why does the poet suggest the people that they have to be strong? Write your answer in the context of the poem Wind. According to the poet, the wind is very powerful. It has power to break the shutters of the windows, scatter the papers and throw the books down the shelf. When it blows violently, it brings the clouds. It mocks at the weak and destroys their homes. Wind here symbolizes the challenges of life. The weak persons are really helpless before the wind. But the poet is quite hopeful. He thinks that when the people build strong houses, they challenge the wind. Actually, the poet suggests the people that they should be strong at heart because the weak persons cannot face the challenges of life. Only the people with strong hearts can courageously face the challenges of life and be successful. Question 13. How can you say that the poet of the poem Wind is a great lover of mankind? The poet wants to make people strong at heart. His desire is that they should be bold enough to face the challenges of life. When we have strong houses, we can protect ourselves from the angry wind. In the same manner, when we are strong at heart, we can face the challenges of life. Only the weak persons are defeated by the problems of life. The poet wants that people should face the challenges of life and make their life happy. His thought shows that he is really a great humanist. His heart is filled with compassion for mankind. Question 14. The wind is a symbol of power and strength. How can we befriend it and survive in our struggle for existence? The wind symbolizes the uncontrollable and raw power of nature. The wind god symbolizes strength and steadfastness. Weaklings who are weak in the mind and body are swept away by the mighty power of the wind. Only those who are blessed with steadfast minds and hearts survive in the bitter struggle of life. The poet gives a broader message. Whatever we do or think must stand on the foundations of strength and power. Only strong minds and bodies can face the anger of the wind and challenges of life. We can befriend the god of wind by building strong homes and doors. We can also win his favor by forming the body and making the heart steadfast. Question 15. What moral lesson do you get from the poem Wind? The poem Wind is full of moral lessons. The poet says that people must be strong at heart because only the weak at heart are troubled by difficulties. Here, wind symbolizes difficulties which have the power to devastate life on the earth. But if the people are strong at heart, they face the challenges thrown out by difficulties. They struggle and at last come out victorious. Question 16. How can you say that friendship with the strong is good? When we have friendship with the strong, we learn several new things. We learn that we may become strong when we fight with difficulties. The people say that if we are strong, the wind may be our friend. So if we desire to have the strong to be our friends, we have to show courage ourselves. This is the main reason that the poet talks about the steadfast heart in the poem. So these are the questions and poetic devices and summary and this and the explanation of the poem. So the question answers you will be doing in the copy. You have understood everything what is to be done. So do your work, complete your work, and in the next class we'll start the next chapter, lesson 3, the little girl. We'll start that in the next class. So till then, be good and take care.